It is hard to believe that the God of War franchise began way back in 2005 with the original trilogy by Santa Monica Studio. That is because many players, such as myself, discovered the beloved action-adventure franchise thanks to the 2018 reboot, consisting of God of War and its sequel, God of War Ragnarok. However, it was back in the early 2000s that original fans were first introduced to Kratos as our Spartan warrior headed to the home of the Greek gods. With the entire trilogy consisting around Greek mythology, the reboot series took a completely different turn. Although we got to play as Kratos once more, we were instead greeted with a completely different side to him as the father of a young boy named Atreus. Not only that, but with 2018's God of War set in ancient Scandinavia, fans were treated to a look into the world of Norse mythology instead. God of War has called back the OG Kratos. With the news that the original God of War trilogy would be receiving a remake, and not to mention the upcoming release of a live-action television show, the Santa Monica Studios franchise is going from strength to strength. However, with the revival of the original trilogy comes the return of our original Kratos in the form of T.C. Carson. Taking on the role of Kratos in the early 2000s, Carson was replaced by Christopher Judge in 2018's God of War and God of War Ragnarok. However, with Carson set to reprise his role in the upcoming remake trilogy, what does this mean for Judge? Especially if the rumors of a God of War 6 prove to be true. Well, during Orlando's MegaCon event, which took place earlier this year, Carson revealed that he was called back to play Kratos after the studio realized they let me go prematurely. Of course, he is referring to returning to voice Kratos in the upcoming remake trilogy, but does this mean that he will also voice Kratos if the reboot series continues? We simply do not know, but fans over on our /PS5 are hoping that this will not be the case. There's room for two Kratos around here. Although there is no denying that both Carson and Judge have given their all to the role of Kratos over the years, it is hard to see how the future of the franchise will play out now that both of them have returned. If I had it my way, we would keep them both, but I doubt that will be the case. Nevertheless, the discussion recently kicked off over on Reddit and fans were eager to share their thoughts. I hope this doesn't mean there won't be any more games with Judge, one user shared. I have become very attached to his version of Kratos. Additionally, others believe that the original Kratos is a lot different to the newest iteration. It's hard to say what he would do with a more serious script, they shared. The old God of War thrived on being over the top and violent. New God of War was more nuanced. I'm assuming the remakes are going to make the script and story a bit more mature rather than just making Kratos a raging Jacka *** in 2/3. God of War 1's Kratos was actually a somewhat believable tragic character though.